part of our 12 Days of Giving, we've asked everybody here at Look Media to focus on a cause that they would like to help and raise awareness for. And I can't even tell you how honored I am to have this guy in front of the camera, and I'm going to tell you why. He's our senior creative director. We've worked together for 11 years, and 99.9% of all of this, the logos you see, everything else, is a creation of this guy. That's a hard, what are you going to say to follow up on something like that? And he doesn't like coming in front of the camera. So this is Jack Ho-Jones. So welcome, Jack.
Thank you.
You mentioned MS. That's a disease that a lot of people have heard about, some people are confused about, but it's one devastating disease. Why did you select it?
I've had a few family members that were afflicted with the disease. Both my mother-in-law and my uncle both passed from the disease.
Wow.
It is quite devastating.
It is. Now, as you know, it takes its time, too, because it attacks the central nervous system. And we're lucky we've got a really good interview lined up with someone from MS Society. So, Jack, happy holidays to you. And thank you very much for suggesting that. And thank you for coming in front of the camera.
Never again.
Happy holidays, Jack.
Thank you. Same to you.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Well, continuing on with our 12 Days of Giving, one of our team members here, Jack Ho-Jones, he's our Senior Creative Director, said we should do something to help Multiple Sclerosis Society. So joining me today is Aaron Ward, who's a Development Teams Manager for National MS Society. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Now, outside of the fact multiple sclerosis is hard to pronounce, it's also a bit difficult to understand. It's a disease that attacks the nervous system. And I've asked Aaron to just sort of give us an overview of who it affects and how it affects these people. Okay, Aaron?
Sure. 2.3 million people worldwide impacted by MS, almost 13,000 here in our 50-county chapter territory. I work for the upstate New York chapter of the National MS Society, and about 500 here in Saratoga County alone impacted by MS. So it essentially attacks the central nervous system. If you think of your nerve cells and nerve endings, they're covered in a protective coating called myelin. So it's like a power cord that's wrapped in rubber. And the body starts to perceive it almost as if it's a foreign entity. So it starts to eat away that myelin. And as that happens, it scars the central nervous system, hence the term multiple sclerosis.
Right, multiple scars.
Exactly. So that interrupts the flow of nerve signals between the brain and the body. And the symptoms can include everything from fatigue to numbness and tingling, to mobility issues, bowel and bladder dysfunction, sexual dysfunction, even paralysis and blindness.
Oh, you know, it just makes it so difficult to then pinpoint, because it can affect people any number of different ways. Let's face it, your central nervous system is central to connecting all of your body functions to your brain, right?
Exactly.
Wow. So this that makes it a very difficult test. Now, currently, Aaron, no cure for this, right?
There's no cure, and they're not sure of the cause either. There are a lot of theories. Is it a bacteria? Is it a virus? Is it an environmental trigger that then somehow causes a predetermined gene to express itself? So they are on track, hopefully, to find a cure. We are funding a lot of research projects, about 380 research projects around the world. $50 million is being poured in by the National MS Society into research. So we hope to find a cure sooner rather than later. Currently, there are only 12 different disease-modifying FDA-approved drugs. They do not cure the illness, they only slow the progression of the disease.
Now, you had mentioned to me, I think before we went on air also, that some of these medications will help restore some of the functions as well?
Not really. They only slow progression of the illness. Our NOW research campaign, the three prongs of that, the three goals, are to ultimately stop progression of the illness, restore the function that's been lost, and then ultimately find a cure. So that's where our focus is.
Boy, focus and dedication, by the way, right? Because when something is, you can't track it, you know, you've really got to throw as many resources as you possibly can against it to try to just nip away, just keep working at it. I'm aware, and I'm sure our viewers are too, that there are two major things that I know that MS does a year. They do a walkathon, and then they do that bikeathon too. The MS Walk and the MS Bike. Now, those are big fundraisers for you.
Oh,
big
sure.
community outreach programs for you, right?
Exactly. Hundreds and hundreds of participants. We have 18 walk sites across our 50-county chapter territory, and in 2016, they'll take place, almost all of them, on Sunday, May 1st. And there are a whole host of fun ways that you can get involved. So if you're living with MS, or you have a family member or coworker or friend living with MS, or even if you don't necessarily have a personal connection to MS, and you still want to get involved, you could become a team captain and launch a team to participate in Walk, for example. Or you could volunteer at any of those 18 walk sites. And it's a fun, kind of a 4-hour period of time where community really comes together. There's a sense of camaraderie. It's passion really fueling for our mission. And it's our chief primary fundraiser, Walk is.
And now the bikeathon too. So when you're talking about wanting to be a volunteer, you can put teams together to help raise money. We were part of a team last year. But the other way, of course, is you can donate your time to actually help. You think about, you put on a bike a marathon, or you put on a walk marathon, you really have to, a lot of people are involved with everything from setting up water tables to all of the other ancillary things that need to happen to get it done. Now, also, since research is so intense in something like trying to find a cure for MS, donations are very important, right?
Yes, you can make a donation online, for example, or if you register with our society, and many, many, many people do, you can register and then donate through the mail. If you want to write a check, you can do that. And actually, during this holiday period, we are also raising money by wrapping gifts for donations at area shopping malls. So we're both at Crossgates and Wilton Mall. So that's another way that you can donate.
And these donations, by the way, of course, you know that they go to research and some of that level activity. But also, think about it. Somebody with MS might need a ramp at their house or something like that. And you're providing those kinds of services in the community for the people and their families who are affected by this, right?
We have 20 different programs and services. So what you were referring to is our MS Independence Fund. So exactly right. If someone needs a ramp to accommodate a wheelchair or a mobility scooter and doesn't have the money to be able to afford that, we can help contribute toward that cost through our MS Independence Fund. So we have a scholarship fund as well to help those whose parents might be living with MS, but they're a student who qualifies for a scholarship to help offset their college expenses. So a lot of programs and services to help those living with MS.
Wow, when you think about a devastating disease like MS, and then you think about this organization, and it's so multifaceted what you do, it is. And you speak very passionately about it too, Aaron, you really are involved in this. I got to just compliment you on that.
Thank you very much. I have a very good friend of mine. She actually has since passed, but I actually worked for her for many years, and the entire time I worked for her, she was living with MS. So I saw firsthand the impact of the illness.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much for coming
Thank you.
and helping to raise awareness for MS. Now, remember, they've got the Walk MS event, which is usually the first Sunday in May, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
Then they've got Bike MS. Both of these are great events to get involved as team captains. Put a team together, donate your time to help make sure that the events go smoothly. And donations are very important to either help the outreach programs, to help people with scooters and ramps and things like that, but also your money can go directly to research too. So again, Aaron, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, LookTVOnline.com.